I'm gonna be honest, I'm recording this way earlier than I usually do, and it feels kind of weird, and this may be totally inaccurate because I really lean on my mood reading, and so I tried to do my TBRs as close to the beginning of the next month as possible because my mood changes a lot and what I'm interested in reading changes a lot. But you know, it's almost spring break, and if I wait until when I would normally do this, the kids will be home, and a sit-down video is just not possible when everyone's home. So here we are. It is what it is, and I just make no promises or guarantees that I will stick to what I say I'm going to read in this video. So welcome back to my channel, friends, and let's just kind of get into this TBR. I have some carryovers from, what month are we even in right now? March, because I went down a couple reading rabbit holes in this month, and so I did not get to all the things that I thought I was going to get to, unfortunately. So I have two carryovers from book clubs. I will be trying real hard to read Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers, which is the March pick for the Literally Dead book club. I think I have a little bit of wiggle room in this because Kayla usually doesn't do the live show until like a week in, and it's actually fine because the April pick for the book club is a thriller, and that is the one genre that I'm still not a reader of, so I wasn't going to read it anyway. I'm carrying over that book. I also need to carry over The Dead Romantics for Betty's Pages 2024 book club. I have both of those on audio, so fingers crossed. Fingers crossed I follow through with those ones. Okay, now we're going to talk about the library books that I didn't get to for this month that I meant to get to. I still need to continue on in two series. I need to read Our Violent Ends by Chloe Gong. I am still so excited to read this. I am still obsessed with her writing. I just had other priorities that were not as high on the priority list as this one was. And I also need to continue in with the Inheritance Games trilogy and read The Hawthorne Legacy, which is book 2. I really need to read this because I accidentally got my middle child hooked on this series, and they just finished book 3. So I need to get my rear in gear to catch up with them. Now we can move on into actual books that I have on my TBR, not just carryovers. So for Buzzword Readathon, the words for April are nature words, and I'm going to, man, I just saw it. Oh, there it is. So for that, I'm going to try to continue on in, what is this series called? The Burning Kingdoms? Is that what it's called? And read The Oleander Sword, which is book 2 in this series. I read The Jasmine Throne in December, and it was one of my favorite books of 2023, so I'm really excited to move on with this series. Also, hi, welcome to Wednesdays in my neighborhood when everyone does their yard work. And then for the Betty Pages book club, there were a whole bunch of options because it's not a book club, the reading challenge that they have on Storygraph. So they have an adult, a YA, a middle grade, and a picture book category, and then they pick 2 books for each section. And so I decided, looking at the options, that I'm gonna read Open Earth by Sarah Merck. And this is a sci-fi graphic novel, and I think it has a poly relationship in it. So I thought that a graphic novel might be a good like change of pace, a nice palette cleanser in the midst of all the things I want to read. And then I have a really big maybe on my list. I would love to read it, but it just may not happen this month. But I really want to read The Story of Silence by Alex Myers. I, again, found out about this book because of Betty's Pages. Like, seriously, follow them on Instagram. It's a good time. This is as far as I know, a historical fantasy queer King Arthur story. King Arthur-ish story. I don't think it is about King Arthur, but I think it's set in that time frame and in Camelot. So I'm very interested, and I definitely want to read this. I'm also going to have a bunch of book projects going on this month because the nebulas were announced, and so I'm currently kind of going through the novella and the novel and the middle grade young adult categories and trying to figure out which ones I want to read, which ones I'm not interested in, like what kind of video I want to do around them. Because like for the novellas, I've read almost all of them except for 2, so it doesn't really make sense to do like a reading vlog about them, but I do want to sit down and talk about them. So I'm just trying to sort that all out, but those books are also potentials for this month, but I'm not going to list them all out here because I just don't know what I'm going to do yet. And the final aspect of this TBR that is new for me this month is I have been having a real fun time with my reading in 2024. But I noticed that because I'm no longer doing my self-destructing TBR, I'm not reading my own books the way I want to, and I also have not slowed down in my book buying the way I thought I was going to. I thought no longer doing social media for bookstore would limit my book acquisition rate. No, it has not. That's not the case at all. So I decided to do a TBR jar, and I put all the books that are on my unread physical TBR in here, and I think I'm gonna draw 3 every month to put on my TBR. Maybe 3 felt like a doable number. I will say though that A Day of Fallen Night is in here, and if I pull out A Day of Fallen Night, then I'm only picking 1 book. That's just how this is gonna go. But let's go ahead and shake it up. It's not color coded. I just used construction paper until I didn't have any space on the paper left. And then I've been just writing them down on random paper. Oh my gosh, since I built it. So we've got 1. Let's see if you guys. I think there's too many shadows, but 1 is the Goblin Emperor. But now I have to find it. And I just reorganized my bookshelves too, so now I don't know where anything is anymore. It should be over in fantasy. Except the problem is I own so many fantasy books that now fantasy has had to bleed into sci-fi. But anyways, I found it. So Goblin Emperor by Catherine Addison. This copy was sent to me by Tor back when they did this new cover and re-released it. So yeah, I've had this on my TBR for a long time. I know Stephanie read it lately and really loved it, and I've seen somebody else read it fairly recently and really like it, but I can't remember who that is. Have I read any Catherine Addison? I don't think I have. So yeah, and it won like a crap ton of awards when it first came out. So this will be good. It'll be nice. This has been on my TBR for a long time. Let's do number 2. Okay. And I'll try to show it to you guys first, but I'm not good at this. All right, so it's number 2. And that is, ooh, read this to get smarter. I was hoping to get a nonfiction. This is by Blair Amani, who I follow on Instagram. Her account is the same name, except not read this to get smarter. What is it on? I think I would know. Smarter in Seconds, that's what it's called. Anyways, I followed her for a really long time and I really enjoy her content, and I'm glad this is gonna push me to finally read her book. I also noticed the other day, so many of my nonfiction books, the spine is purple, which I love because purple is my favorite color and I love nonfiction so much, so I don't know. That just made me really happy that so many of my nonfiction books are purple. Okay, and 1 more. So if I get A Day of Fallen Night, I don't know. I might put it back because I actually really want to read The Goblin Emperor and read this to get smarter. Okay, and then the last book coming out of the TBR jar is... Okay. The Cost of Knowing. Oh, that's YA. Yeah, it's right there. Okay. Yay. Oh, good. This is by Brittany Morris. This is sci-fi YA. There's, I think, a computer component. I don't know. I grabbed this. It was, my library was, whoa. My library was unhauling it a couple months ago and I grabbed it because I already had the audiobook. So yeah, cool, awesome. Huh. That worked out much better than I thought I was going to. So yay, that's great. I love that. I love that for me. So here is, I mean, what I have, what I have of the physical books plus the 2 audiobooks I mentioned, and then the graphic novel that I need to get for my library, and whatever I end up doing with the Nebula books. It's fine. It'll be fine. I'm gonna have a great reading month, okay? Okay. So, thank you for watching. We are now at the end of this video, so I'm gonna go and keep working on my March projects. But if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching and spending your time with me. I hope you have a great rest of the day. If you would like to leave an emoji to let me know you're here, leave a purple emoji, please, in honor of my favorite color. And I will talk to you all in the next one. Bye!